Hi and welcome back to the All-American Atlas channel. Today we are uncovering some of the most bizarre and entertaining American roadside attractions. Whether you're planning your own road trip or you're just curious where you can find Carhenge, and for that I would not blame you, let's get started. First up is Carhenge. It's a replica of England's Stonehenge, obviously, and you can find it near Alliance, Nebraska. Of course, it's not made from stones, it's made from vintage American cars. And I say of course, like this is so obvious, but it's called Carhenge. What would you expect? The man behind the madness is Jim Reinders, who came up with the idea in 1987 as a memorial to his father. He actually did live in England. He was able to study Stonehenge while he was there, and when he got back to America, he copied the structure's shape with automobiles. There are 39 in total, some held upright and 3 that are actually buried. There are also some other artwork in the area created from cars covered with spray paint and, interestingly enough, the path of the solar eclipse in August of 2017, where it happened in the totality of the eclipse, included Carhenge, so plenty of people watched from this site. Next up is Salvation Mountain, a folk art installation and testament to artistic expression as it relates to faith that you can find in the desert of California. Created by a man named Leonard Knight in the 1980s, this massive mountain is a canvas for biblical murals created over several decades. The artwork uses everything from bricks to discarded tires, windows, and automobile parts, all covered in paint with Christian sayings, Bible verses, and again, biblical murals. It's very unique, beautifully colorful against the harsh desert environment, and funnily enough, is actually the second mountain on this site. The first one collapsed in 1939 after a rainstorm caused a giant crack, so today's mountain uses much better materials and is several stories high. Leonard spent almost 30 years building all day, every day, and slept at the mountain's base in the back of his pickup truck. And there's a British connection too. Coldplay actually filmed a music video here in 2015 for their song called Birds. Third on our list is the world's largest ball of twine, which you can find in Kansas. Why do we need this in the world? I don't know, but we have it, and it was started as a small project by a farmer in 1953, and then, as you can see, it grew. The hobby of rolling twine turned into an obsession in this small town. Really not much else to do, and today this ball of twine weighs over 17,000 pounds and has a circumference of over 40 feet. The ball of twine actually never stops growing because every year there's a twine-a-thon where they keep adding more. This is honestly such a great representation of the quirkiness of small town America. Now, if you love a good mystery, the mystery spot in Santa Cruz, California has to be on your list of where to stop on a road trip. It's a tilted house, first and foremost, and the surrounding environment helps challenge the laws of gravity and physics as you experience some pretty weird things inside. It was built in 1939 and the optical illusions are really cool, including balls rolling uphill, people leaning at impossible angles, and a lot more. It's playful, it's touristy, it's just a bit of fun, and there's a gift shop so you can't go wrong. Number 5 on our list is something special in Collinsville, Illinois, a towering testament to American love for ketchup. It's the world's largest ketchup bottle, and it stands at 170 feet tall. It was originally a water tower, but the unique shape and bright red color helped turn it into an iconic landmark. It was actually constructed in 1949, and while it almost met its demise in 1995, a group called the Ketchup Bottle Preservation Group saved it from demolition and restored it to its former glory. This past July, they even welcomed the giant Idaho potato to come and stop by. I am not making this up. There's also a fan club. If you feel like joining, you get a laminated membership card and an official fan club t-shirt, so why are you waiting? Next on our list is the Corn Palace in Mitchell, South Dakota, advertised as the world's only corn palace, and this building is decorated with crop art, which are murals and designs made from corn and other grains. Obviously, duh. Over 500,000 people visit each year, and the palace can actually be used as a concert venue, a conference space, can be used for sporting events, and a lot more. There's also a citywide festival called the Corn Palace Festival, and funnily enough, The idea of a corn palace isn't actually unique. It was quite popular in the Midwest in the United States in the beginning of the 1900s, but the Mitchell Corn Palace is the only one that remains intact. This one was built in 1892 to showcase South Dakota and has been rebuilt multiple times. The corn murals are actually replaced every single year with new designs from local artists, and it's just a wonderfully weird Midwestern thing to do. Number 7. The world's largest picnic basket on Ohio State Route 16 near Columbus, Ohio. Honestly, the fact that it is in Ohio, it just makes so much sense. It opened in 1997 as the headquarters of a basket making company, and it stands 7 stories tall and more than 200 feet wide. The company moved out in 2016, and so now it's just a derelict, abandoned picnic basket on the side of the roads, which some locals call an eyesore, but I find it interesting nonetheless. You can't go inside, but you can go around the outside and take pictures. If you feel like the world's largest picnic basket is calling out to you, you used to be able to take tours of the basket building in the heyday of the company, and they also had the world's largest apple basket nearby, but today it just sits in silence, alone, and sad that no one wants to have a picnic in it. Number 8 is a giant elephant named Lucy in New Jersey, just off the Atlantic City Expressway. She is one of the oldest roadside attractions in America, 65 foot high, and also she's been home to many things, including a tavern, offices, and a restaurant. But today you can take guided tours through the elephant, and she's earned her place as a National Historic Landmark. Lucy was built in 1881 by a real estate agent who was trying to get buyers to come to Margate, which was then known as South Atlantic City. The new railroad stopped right nearby, and she turned into quite the spectacle and tourist attraction. Sadly, she fell apart a little bit over the years after not being maintained, don't we all? And she was going to be demolished around 1969, but a group called the Save Lucy Committee did just that and raised enough money to save her from demolition by moving her a few blocks away to city-owned property and bringing her back to life. In 1974, she reopened again, and the ticket sales and the gift shop helped support keeping Lucy going. While you're not currently allowed to do this, there has been an option for many years, including in recent years, to have guests stay overnight. This is particularly aimed at like scouting troops, birthday parties, and school groups, so they can book to sleep over inside Lucy the elephant and take a night climb, as well as story time and other activities. And finally, the world's largest teapot. It's in a town called Chester in West Virginia, and it's a solid 14 feet by 14 feet, sitting on top of the location of a former amusement park. It got brought to Chester in 1938 as Chester was home to some of the biggest pottery industry in the world at the time. It was originally a root beer sign in the shape of a large barrel, which was converted into a teapot to fit the pottery theme. Unlike some of the other attractions, it doesn't really have anything to do there. You can just take a picture with the teapot, but they do have Teapot Day, once a year, filled with craft stalls, food stalls, and local fun around the giant teapot. Now, that brings me to the end of this video. Comment any more you know down below or which one you found the most interesting. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.